About the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. How many people have seen Yes Man with Jim Carrey? It's a movie about Jim Carrey's character learns, he's a guy that says no to everything, and he begins to learn to say yes to the opportunities life puts in front of him, and it totally changes his life. He begins to understand what saying yes can do, and we're talking about how the future holds a world of possibilities for us. And when opportunity knocks in your life and my life, is our answer going to be yes, or is our answer going to be no, or is our answer going to be I'm not sure? And we're talking about how to say yes to God. And we've been talking about how the Holy Spirit is what this is all really about. And the Spirit is how God talks to us today. It's how He leads us today. And the Holy Spirit is God leading us and talking to us and helping us in life. And we're talking about how do we learn to say yes to Him. One of my favorite scenes in the movie Yes Man is when Jim Carrey has said yes first to learning guitar lessons. He's never learned and wants to learn. He's just recently learned to play guitar, and he happens to be walking down the street and he sees this Hispanic guy up on a ledge, and he's about to jump off. He's about to take his own life, and everybody on the street below is freaked out. They're like, what are we going to do? And Jim Carrey says yes to the opportunity to help him, and he goes up into this building, and check out what happens. I love this scene.
Hey, buddy. Whoa. Who are you, man? Don't try anything. I'm going to kill myself, so don't try to stop me.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
No, I don't mean okay. Just give me a second. I should say something to you here. Don't really know what it is.
Man, you're terrible at this. Are you even in the car?
Hold on a second, I'm thinking. Wait! I got it.
Where you going, man? My man, hello?
Don't do it! I'm coming! Patience is a virtue.
What the hell you doing in there?
Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Could cut ties with all the lives that you've been living in. And if you never want to see me again, I would understand.
What is it?
The angry boy a bit too insane. Icing over a cigarette flame. You know you don't belong.
Everyone I know has got a reason to say
You can put the past away.
wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Could cut ties
All the lies you've been living in.
if you never want to see me again. I would understand. I would understand. I would understand. I would
I love that scene. Isn't that awesome? Jim Carrey talks him off the ledge. And today what we're going to talk about for the next few minutes is how there is somebody that wants to talk you off the ledge in your life, whatever that ledge might be. And that somebody is God. Whether you know this or not this morning, God is your biggest fan. And I don't know what ledge you're on today. Maybe it's a ledge of you're on the verge, like this guy, of even suicidal thoughts. Or maybe it's a ledge of depression. Maybe it's a ledge of fear. Maybe it's a ledge of just apathy, where you just are kind of blah and don't know what to do. But maybe you're on your own ledge today. I want you to know that God is your biggest fan today. He is standing outside the window near whatever ledge you're on, and He is singing songs of encouragement to you. He wants to help you. He wants to coax you into His presence, and He wants to grab you by the coat and throw you on the floor and rock you out and say, I care about you. I love you. I am your biggest fan. We talk sometimes about how we ought to be fans of God. There's a whole industry about being God fans. It sells Christian t-shirts and bumper stickers and figurines you can put in your house and all of that good stuff. But I think what we forget is the flip side of that is also true, and that is really God's our biggest fan. He loves us. He cheers for us. He encourages us. And today we're going to look for a few minutes about how to plug in to saying yes to God, our biggest fan, how to get off the ledge and step into the window of His grace and His plan and His purpose for our life. And there's kind of three things in a verse I want to share with you today. And it's in John chapter 14, verses 16 and 17. And it's where Jesus is about to go back into heaven. He's about to die on the cross, leave this earth, and He's getting His disciples ready for when He leaves. He's getting us ready for when He leaves. And it's where He really begins to talk about the Holy Spirit. It's where He really begins to talk about who the Spirit is and what He's here to do, and how when Jesus leaves this earth, He says, I'm going to leave someone here with you. I'm going to leave God here with you, and it's going to be God, the Holy Spirit. Listen to what Jesus says. This is awesome. He says, and I will ask the Father. Jesus says, I'm going to pray. I'm going to talk to the Father, ask Him, and He will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. In other words, the Holy Spirit. He says the world cannot accept Him because it neither sees Him nor knows Him, but you know Him, for He lives with you and He will be in you. Now, in those short couple of verses, God begins to give us a real picture of who the Holy Spirit is and how He is our biggest fan, how He's in our life to encourage us. It's God living in our hearts and our lives to help inspire us, encourage us, help us, guide us, direct us, and do a ton of things for us and with us if we'll just listen to Him. So this morning, if you're standing on a ledge of whatever it is, fear or apathy or worry or resentment or past pains or maybe depression or maybe even like the guy in Yes Man, suicidal thoughts, I want you to know, first of all, you have a fan today. And your fan is not just me, I'm your fan. It's not just Journey Church, the people sitting around you. These people, as Paul shared at the beginning, are your fans. But you have a number one fan, and that fan is God. That fan is His Holy Spirit cheering you on from the window beside your ledge, saying, you can make it. I want you to do it. I have great things planned and purposed for your life today. If there's one thing we know in Wisconsin, it's fans, isn't it? We know what it means to be super fans. Today, all over this state, people are going to dress up in crazy clothes and in kind of crazy gear, and we're going to celebrate our favorite thing in this state, the Green Bay Packers. And there will be people dressed like Darth Vader with cheese heads on and all kinds of crazy stuff. We've even got a Packer Pope that goes to all the games, and you guys see him with the big hat. We know what it is to be a fan. We believe fans make a difference in games here in Wisconsin, don't we? We're not the only team, believe it or not, in the nation that believes that. A team that beat us badly last year, and we were embarrassed by them, the Seattle Seahawks, also believe that. In fact, if you go in the Seahawks Stadium, they have a banner that stretches around the stadium that says home of the 12th man. And you guys know what that is. There are 11 men on a football team, and the 12th man is the fans. And Packer people, NFL teams around the league will tell you it's hard to play in Seattle because that's a crazy loud stadium. That 12th man, those fans in the stands, have an impact on the outcome of those games. In fact, it's such an important deal to Seattle. There's been a dispute over the last several decades with a little school down in Texas called Texas A&M, a college, and they also have that same phrase in their stadium, home of the 12th man. And Seattle and Texas A&M have been in a battle over who owns the rights to that phrase, to that statement. They even went to court over it a while back, and it was decided that Texas A&M owns the statement, but that the Seattle Seahawks can rent it from them. So if you watch a Seattle game, you watch closely somewhere during the broadcast, they'll put up on the screen, home of the 12th man is owned by Texas A&M and leased by the Seattle Seahawks. It's a big deal in football. The 12th man, the fans, make a difference. Jesus is the 12th man in our life. He is the 12th man cheering us on from the sidelines, and he makes a difference. If you'll notice in this verse, the Bible tells us God said he is going to give us another advocate. And who he's talking about is the Holy Spirit of God there. Jesus said, when I leave this earth, I'm going to send my Spirit to be with those who believe in me. And he uses this word, another advocate, and the word literally means to call alongside somebody to aid them, to help them. God said, I'm going to send you somebody that's going to pull you literally in close. That's what the language he uses here means. And he's going to aid you. He's going to be like a legal advocate is one way this word was used back in biblical times. An intercessor is another way it's used. In other words, he's going to pray for you. He's going to be there to help you, to cheer you on, to be in your life. He's literally going to pull you in close and help you. Guys, I want you to know today that if you're on a ledge of whatever in your life, God is standing in the window next to your ledge and he's cheering you on. He wants you to make it. He wants you to be encouraged. He wants you to be helped. And he does that through his Holy Spirit. He is your biggest fan. He's cheering. And just like today that the fans in Lambeau Field are going to get loud and noisy when the Lions come in there, it's going to make a difference in their game. Have you ever noticed when it's 3rd and short and you're playing at another team's home field, what happens when those quarterbacks go to the line and get down behind that center? It gets so loud that they can't hear the people on their line. And every now and then you'll notice that the people on the Packers today, if the Lions ever get to 3rd and short, our guys will start holding their hands up and they'll start telling the fans, I want you to get loud, because what those fans in the stadium does, what that 12th man does, makes a big difference in the outcome of that game. Today, the things that God does in your life, this week, the things he says and whispers in your ear from the sidelines, I promise you can make a big difference in the game of your life if you'll start listening to God. He wants to encourage you. He wants to challenge you. He wants to help you. And he wants to talk you off of that ledge that's got you immobilized right now, because God is your biggest fan. Not only is he your biggest fan, but he does something very important for us. He gives us focus. God gives us focus on what we need to focus on what's important in life and what's not so important. Do you know you can only focus on one thing at a time in your life? I think I've told you guys this before, but I like to remind you sometimes. Everybody put their finger, this finger, not the middle one, up in front of you. And I want you to look up here at me and focus on me for just a minute. Do you notice something when you're focusing on me? Your finger's kind of blurry, isn't it? Now focus on your finger and forget about me for a minute. Now I'm kind of blurry because you guys are kind of blurry. See, your eyes will only focus on one thing at a time, and it's important for us to understand in our life we're just like that. We can really only effectively focus on one thing at a time, and if we're focused on our problems or our pain or our past or the whatever ledge we're on, and we're not focused on God, we tend to get discouraged. We tend to get down. And Jesus is saying, I want you to focus on me so much. I've given you the Spirit of truth. That's what he calls the Holy Spirit, to help you focus. The word truth in the Bible, truth is a word we kind of throw around here in 21st century America. But in the Bible, the word literally means what is true in any matter. In other words, what is always true, what will forever be true, what is really true. God said, I want to help you get a clear picture of what is really true.